Hi there, this is Dawn. Welcome back to my art room and welcome to my YouTube channel. Lovely to have you join me. I've been missing in action for a little bit. We've just had like the busiest week. We had a beautiful wedding that we went away for the weekend and joined the family for that. Gorgeous. Spent some time with my mum, who has just been a bit unwell and needed a little bit of support, so that's good. And then we've had a birthday party that we went to, and I just feel like we've just been doing in and out, in and out. But in the middle of doing in and outs, I haven't done anything on my Gathered Things quilt, but I have been really busy. And I just wanted to share some of that busyness with you. A little while ago, I talked about enrolling in Anne Kelly's online class collections in cloth that I did, that I've been doing, and I've now completed the course and spent a little bit of time this week on doing those things because I just wanted to catch up on that. Hadn't spent a lot of time. And this was the first project. This was a project of gathered things around my home and things that I love, things like roosters and jugs and fluoro things and a little stamp that I'd made. And then I did a lot of free motion machine embroidery to attach it all down, all part and parcel of the class. These little doodle dollies that I call, where it's just a like a doodling sort of mark where you don't lift the pen or lift the, or in this case, lift the needle. So yeah, so it's probably just going to make a nice journal piece or just a collection of something of that. And then the second thing that I've done is what is Anne walks us through creating our own papers and to cover a box, which is what I've done. And so this is a collection of loveliness that I collected when I went to Japan. This was from a postcard. Like postcards are quite thick, so I peeled back that top layer. One of my little drawings. This is actually shibori fabric that did a disappearing act. And this is a stamp that I carved myself. I've done this in the past, carved stamps out of like, eraser. This is carving. This is a carving product, but it's the same thing. It's like a white eraser. So I just looked at sort of images that I felt represented, that were represented in Japanese textiles. The koi fish is one of those. So that was a stamp, but I did stamped it with just acrylic paint. And this is from a paper crane. A couple of the lovely girls that were our guides on the tour made us some paper things. Oh, here's another one of the koi. Once he was stamped that way. Well, he kind of goes that way really, because that's his eye and his mouth are down here and his tail. And those are the little Japanese dollies that I drew out when I was creating the bag for all of my Japanese fabrics. But a couple of the lovely girls created these beautiful little paper origami ninja, a little ninja star and a kimono. And I just thought the crane was a very typical folded Japanese symbol that I thought I'd have a go at, and I think they turned out okay. So in this lovely little box, I've been storing all my Japanese goodies, my sashiko threads and things that I got in Japan. I totally forgot I bought that button. How gorgeous is it? I don't know what I'm going to use it on, but some nice trims. And yeah, so then just creating the paper, through particular layers that Anne takes you through on the course, and then covering the box. There's the stamped crane. These were just bits of text that came off, the paper packaging that I bought things in. I think it turned out pretty good. It's a funny little timber box. That's I just found in our local Spotlight. Cool. Just wanted to show you those. Put them over here for now. And the last piece is my exhibition piece. So this is, I've done it in a concertina book style. I don't want to sort of go into it too much because the exhibition hasn't happened yet, but the exhibition is entitled Moving Memories. And what I did was I used my collection of puppets that I've collected on my travels around the world, but I've also added my chooks and my little houses, but Chinese dolls, babushka dolls, a Kakeshi doll, an Indonesian string puppet. There's a little Pinocchio from Italy, some Venetian style things. This is from a beautiful place in Uzbekistan called Bukhara. And I wish I'd bought 2 of those. I bought 1, and just other little bits of my collection. So I've based this on that. And I'm going to give you a quick preview. I'll show you them all. But I spent a bit of time sketching, drawing them out before I did them. They're collage fabrics and the free motion machine embroidery. So, it's been a bit busy. So here I am back now. You've had a little sneak preview. Once the exhibition goes online, I'll share the detail of the exhibition piece with you more, but I just wanted to show you that I haven't just been sitting here doing nothing. Just as a by the by. I've got my box of old laces. So while I thought I was going to combine both laces and script in this because that's what we've had, I think laces is probably going to be enough. And then I'll do script in another video. But what I've been doing is just researching through some of my bits and pieces that I've collected. Some, I probably have a couple of oldish pieces that I have. So, but this is quite pinky. But it might look apricot-y enough. Those 2 pieces, and there's a third one in here somewhere. Oh no, there's even 4. This one that I got from somewhere. Can't remember where I picked that up. Somewhere recent. Gone. At a retreat, I think. This one, I think I picked these up from antique shops. This one's got like a trim threaded through an eyelet. These precious pieces are all that I have left now from my own wedding dress, which was quite some time ago. Not that bit, but these are pure lace pieces. I've used them in a couple of things, and I'm getting a bit precious about them because other than raiding my dress, which I probably should because, probably no one's going to wear it. My daughter certainly didn't. Whether my granddaughter will want it by the time she gets around to getting married, it might be moth-eaten by then. Probably should use the lace. But my uncle was a lace designer, and we were able to get all of this pure lace in these sort of like motif embellishments that I had on my wedding gown. And so, yeah, these are the bits that I've got left. So I think I'll probably use one of them. I might as well put it on there. But anyway, they're there. I've got other funny bits and pieces. This is an old piece from probably an antique shop I would have found somewhere. and it's a collar, or you know, it's a lace front, goes down the front of something and then the collar goes out and around. I'm never going to use it as it is for anything, but the lace is gorgeous and I think I'm okay about cutting it up. A few other funny bits and pieces that I've collected along the way. So yeah, so that's the plan. I'm going to probably stop here, add some bits and pieces. This one's quite old as well. It'll be gorgeous to put on there. Plus I want to have some for my Christmas table runner as well. The script, I don't know what I'm going to do about that one yet. You know, I've heard some people talking about writing the prompts. The Christmas one's okay because, you know, there's lots of Christmas wording around that I can use. This one's a pretty lace. Very, very fine. I don't know if it's old, but it looks old. Yeah, so I just don't know what to do on this. So I probably either need to go and have a look in my fabric stash and see if I do have anything that has script on it. Oh, even maybe some of Rachel's fabric might have script on it. That's a good idea. I think maybe I have added script somewhere. I need to have a look now. Oh, no, I can't see any directly. I didn't know whether there was some up in this top bit up here. A weeny little bit on what looks like a postcard. But there is no other script anywhere else. Oh, some script in hexagons might be a nice idea, mightn't it? All right. Okay, well, I might put you on pause for a minute. I'll go get myself sorted here, work out some bits and pieces, and then come back and have a chat while we stitch together. Okie doke. So after some deliberation, I've decided that I'm going to incorporate both prompts in this one video. So I think we're up to, oh, sorry, I had it written down and moved it. So Lacey Bits is prompt 12, script is prompt 13. So I'm gonna put them both in together. What I found is that when I was looking at some of the lace, you know, the edging stuff, just wasn't doing it for me. So then I went on another hunt, found quite a few Lacey bits that I thought I wanted to use more fabric type lace rather than, you know, like these edging bits. I'm going to still use this one, but the other ones I'm giving up on. I just felt like I just was getting more bitsy as I went along. So these are the ones that I found. This one, I found some tatting, a large piece of tatting. I found, yes, some script. I've also, this was only like a last week op shop find, a piece of lace. It's got quite a few marks on it. It's been soaked and washed and they're not going to come off. So I'm going to be strategic about how I cut these butterflies out. I've had a piece of this type of lace and dyed, and it's beautiful when the butterflies are dyed, but I'm going to cut out the ones that are okay, but there are a couple that are not. Bit of Battenberg lace, decided to go with this creamy colour because I've got the white background. I think the cream works better. And this piece of a Nottingham lace, I don't know where I got this. I know that I got it some funny place, but I don't know where. I don't know where I got it from. My dad came from Norwich, which is in England, which is near Nottingham, and he, a long time ago, when I was much younger, he went home for a trip took my mum and bought me back some Nottingham lace that I'd used somewhere else. And I thought, when I found this, I thought I'm going to have a go at this. I have no idea where I got this from. I got it from somewhere funny, but I don't remember where. maybe a vintage place. No memory. But anyway, I found some of Rachel's text. I've decided I'm not going to go for anything necessarily readable. This sort of text, it probably does, it probably can be read, but you know, it's kind of like that asemic writing that looks like writing but isn't. Happy with that. Happy with that look. Where are the scissors? They're buried. Can't find them. Can't even. Oh well, I'm going to find a different pair. So yeah, so that's me. I just decided that I'm going to do both. I'm going to incorporate the writing and the text and the Lacey bits all in one go. And I'm going to try and find some bigger Lacey pieces than smaller. I've got a lot of Lacey doilies on this, and every time I tried to put something down, I felt like I was just really repeating myself. So I thought I needed to get a look at something a little bit different. I quite like that. And I thought some of this, I like these. It's called Lever's Lace. Genuine Nottingham Lever's. Oh, here, can you see now? Genuine Nottingham Lever's Lace. Going to take it out of that plastic because it's yucky to listen to. It's quite stiff. It was obviously probably stiffened. Yeah, this is the right side. But I thought I'm going to cut it. I mean, I know that it's a shame to cut it, but you know, what am I going to do with it? Stick it in a drawer and never use it, so I might as well cut it. I don't know where my good scissors are. They're probably in here, folded up in here somewhere, because I had them. Oh no, here they are. Good. These ones are just a bit sharper than those ones. All right, I'm going to go straight through here and through here, so that I'm not really doing sort of border stuff or edging, which is what it was starting to look a little bit like. Good. And I even thought I'd incorporate a butterfly. So I need to find one that's not badly stained, like it's been soaked and washed and pressed, and yeah, it was cheap at the op shop. It was just like last week I found it actually. Yeah, they're sort of like these dark mark. I don't know what they are, what it is, but I couldn't get it off. I'm gonna start here. There's a bit of mark here, but I think if I cut through here, and I'm even thinking like 2 butterflies. Let's have a go at that. All right. Going to come in here. I'll trim these bits off when I get there. Yeah, it's quite marked, and it could be anything that's marked it. Who would know? But it wasn't something that wanted to be rinsed out, that's for sure. Gosh, I nearly chopped his feelers off. Nearly. I've got the quill tool folded up so that I can see what I'm doing in bits now. Sunday, lazy Sunday afternoon here. I thought if I don't, the week is going to heat up. Well, you know, it's been nice and warm today, but funnily enough, I just said to Paul, it's cold inside. You know, he was outside puddling in the garden and I was sitting in here, and I said, just sitting in here, inside the house is quite cool, but as soon as you walked out the door, it was real warm. No, don't want that bit there. I was quite surprised. We've just started to pick up some nice weather, and we're in daylight saving, so you know it's daylight till a bit later now. But yeah, this week is busy family stuff. My sister's been away overseas and she's coming back on Tuesday. We're going to catch up on Wednesday. You know, I'm happy for it to all kind of overlap like that. I think that looks quite good. Get rid of some rubbish. I'm hoping, being Sunday, that I can get this up to you tonight. Oh, my tonight anyway. And I'm then going to be, you know, caught up. I'll be up to date, which will be great, because I got a bit behind. Well, I got one prompt behind anyway. And you know, leaving it any longer is too hard. Plus, I want to do my Christmas one, so I thought if I do this one here in this video and then a bit later this week, I'll do these two prompts as well on the Christmas one, and we'll be up to the next one. Goodness, it's like speeding along now. Just felt like it went slow there for a bit, and now it's like, I think it's just as life gets busier, goes faster, doesn't it? Cool. All right, well, I'm really happy with that. Can't believe how many hours I've been faffing around, and then I put one little bit in, and it just sits there, instantly goes into the right place. I might actually stitch it while we're talking. Do I want... I'm wondering... There's no quilting here in this corner. There's quilting sort of here, and no, there's no quilting here. And this, I think, is going to go a bit like that. There's just going to be the very finest green line. I'm going to fold this in half, which is the very edge of the tablecloth, so it'll give me that little border. I think I might just use this crochet cotton to stitch it down with. I'm not even going to bother invisible stitching that. I don't think it needs to be. I don't think it does. Cool. Oh yeah, I really didn't think that I was going to be... I thought I would do these two prompts separately, but as I got going with it, I don't want to... Now and then I forget that I don't want to go from the back. I'm only stitching from... not going all the way. Although, in saying that, there's no stitching here. I might do it in a quilting fashion, so, you know, as I go around the butterflies, it'll go all the way through to the back. Whether you could see that little stitch there, which will just automatically quilt it. So if I just take a little stitch all the way through. Do you need to come up a little bit closer? So now you're going to see the stitch and it'll create an automatic quilted look. Quilted look. All right. Oh, this is going to be slightly trickier, but I think it's better for the quilt. So let's take you all the way around. I'm going to undo that bit there. Woo! I'm knocking everything flying. In case you're wondering what was going on then. Oh, there we go. Rightio. Back to some level of normality. Lost my needle thread in all of that hoo-ha. I've got a light on a stand and I knocked it flying. But of course it's connected to power, so it sort of dangles for a bit. All right, so I'm just going to do that like quilting stitch, like as a running stitch around the butterfly, which will quilt all the layers together. And then it's quite a big chunky needle, but going through all layers is probably quite good, except that it's heavy going. I think it's all right. Whoop. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, so it's going to be another busy week. My sister and I will spend some time with my mum. That will happen. She will probably come and stay. Just checking here. Oh yeah, I didn't see how that all puckered up. I wasn't concentrating on that, so I need to pull that out. Have another go at that. I might actually have to do that bit first before I do the butterflies, just to hold it down so that I don't get that puckering. All right. It's going to, oh, no, still one more there. This pink is the original tacking thread. It probably needs to get cut away. Because I'm close to being done with that there. And that bit there. I know that's coming from here somewhere. So what I do is find where it's joining here, and it's not. I know where it's coming from. Back and front. Where is it? Ah, that's why. Because it's no longer joined, but the risk that I face when I don't hold it all down is that all three layers. I lost the needle just then. What did I do? Oh, there. It's all right. It's all right. I'm tuned in. All right, good. Let's have this one. And let's have... I needed some cream. That just has done a disappearing act. Yeah, I don't know where that's gone, but that'll do. It's just not quite white, which is what I had sitting beside me. It was white. Cool. All right, let's start again. I'll stitch the text down and then the lace. I'm not going to get it all done in the next few minutes. Let me see. I need to put some tea on in a minute, so I'll go for another 10 minutes here. And then go and put some tea on and then come back to you. All right. With this one, I'm not going all the way through. This is just holding it down where it needs to be. Hopefully that's better than it was before. So I'm just going through the top layer and into the wadding, just as a, as a invisible tacking sort of stitch. I possibly will go over some of it as an embellishment, but right now I just want it to stay in the right place while I do this much. And then I can come back with that quilting thread to stitch the butterflies down and this corner bit of lace here. So the text is really not, it's not anything in particular, it's just another piece of fabric really, and yes, it was in amongst my bits and pieces of Rachel's, but there's lots of other designers out there that do text on fabric. I just happen to have this, so decided to use it, and just being relevant to the project really, as being one of Rachel's designs. She has a few different ones. This is the cotton one. I know that there are linen ones as well, but this one was a cotton one in her cotton fabrics. Oh goodness, there we go. There's Paul blowing his nose. Did you need to know that? Oh my Lord. Sorry if you could hear it. Like a trumpet going off. Cool. All right. There we go. Now I can probably go back. Whatever I did with that big needle. Popped it in here. I can go back to this now, which was a just a quilting stitch. Used a running stitch to quilt, but I've quilted through. I want to go through all of the layers, so that's the difference. This one just went through the top layer and the wadding, and this one is going all the way through to create a quilted look and hold all the layers together. Oh, lost that. Yeah, so anyway, what I was saying was another busy, kind of a busy family-ish week this week. And that's really just because, my sister's been away overseas and I was just coming back, so just getting together, and she's going to catch up with my mum, who, you know, hasn't been well. So my mum will be glad to see her too, and she'll be glad to see mum. So mum's okay. She's just, you know, she's 91. That's what happens. She's been very capable and very independent, and she's just had a couple of things change, you know, and just made her a little bit more, just slowed her up a little bit, but she's all right. She's okay. But yeah, she'll be glad to see my sister. My sister will be glad to see her because it all happened while she was away. Just a, you know, change in her, like arrhythmia, and, you know, which just, you know, makes her a bit breathless and tired, and yeah. She's been treated with some medication, so that seems to be working. But anyway, it just slowed her up a bit. Goodness, that was a bit of a knot and a half, wasn't it? I wasn't concentrating on that one. Oh, good. Good. Pink bits could get out the way. Going to just cut them off there. And then I'll have to go back through the back and have a look and see if there's any bits that are still in there. I like these butterflies. So what you might be able to see is that thread just tracking around there, so it'll make a quilted look. You know, well, it's not going to be the straight stitches of cantha stitching, but it will still have a quilted look and have, you know, work to hold all the layers together, the top and the wadding and the backing. Which is important in a quilt, otherwise it just bags and doesn't look nice. But I thought this one, I think I'm going to leave. Am I going to leave? You know, it's that whole thing about, will you get your finger caught in it when it's a quilt? Oh, maybe it needs to be held down. Just maybe it does. I'm going to come sneak through the layers, so I'm not going all the way through. I'm sneaking through. And do the same thing. I need to come through a bit more. And I'm just going to put one stitch in these body bits just to hold them down. Yeah. All right, then back to where I left off. Yeah, it's not like straight or anything, but it's just going to mean less likely to get your finger stuck in it when you're holding on to it. Excuse me. I'm happier with this. I struggled a little bit with the border laces. I didn't know what I wanted to do with them, and that's when I had thought I need to keep looking. I need to see what I've got in amongst my drawers and my stash that I've forgotten that I owned, and I'd definitely forgotten that I'd only just bought this like a week ago. little bit of an extra stitch there. Keep losing this thread because it's, a big needle with a big eye, and it just keeps falling out. Cool. Hope you're all having fun doing yours and keeping up with the project. It's busy when it's a new prompt every week, but I'm finding that this lace was definitely a crossover with some of what I'd already had put on Lacey doilies and things. So you could, or you don't have to. You probably don't need to add something extra. But yeah, I wanted to. Do the same thing that I did before. Just not go all the way through while I hold them down. Come back. So I haven't gone around this lace yet. I'm just still only concentrating on the butterflies. I'm going to need to get a new thread though. Oh, goodness sakes, doesn't want to. Wants me to finish there, obviously. All right, we will. No point arguing the toss with it. I'm going to take it in under here, under that other bit, and tie it off there because I'm not really going all the way through. Go in through this layer, bring it out there. Good, nearly there. And yeah, I mean, well, they're not lying flat. They're they've got a little bit of movement. I think they're all right. I'm still using this one. Yeah, so this week I'll get on with obviously what the next prompt is, but continue here. I'll show you what I've done before I sign off tonight, and what I've kind of laid out as far as text and lace is concerned, not stitched down. But I'll just finish this butterfly now. Oh, where did I get to? Here somewhere. I'll go in here, in this layer in here, and come up. I think it's around there somewhere. Yeah, so then, the whopping knot that's all tangled up. No, I'm not gonna do that. Goodness, that's a whopper. How am I gonna untangle that ever? Looks like an octopus. It's got so many legs. Oh dear. Having an easy tea tonight, or what we call bangers and mash. So it's sausages and mashed potato for tea with I've got some fresh corn on the cob, and I've got some fresh broccoli. Thought we'd have that as well. Bit of onion gravy with the sausages, kind of that kind of day today. So yeah, I'm going to go and do that in a minute. Oh, goodness gracious. This is just like a disaster. Almost needs to be cut. Heavens, might have to be. It's like crazy. Sometimes older crochet cottons, because they've been wound on the ball, you know, the ball for so long, they become quite, you know, they retain the, you know, the how it's been folded onto the, you know, wound onto the ball. It retains that shape, and it's really hard to manage. So I don't know whether that's this one's problem, but that was a complete disaster there for a minute or two. Anyway, I've sorted it now. See what happens next. I mean, so long as you don't try and pull it too tight, you know, what I do is hold here with my thumb so that as it comes through, I'm flattening it, not allowing it to sort of, you know, go twisting off in some crazy space. Or I sometimes put my finger in, you know, the loop and help to hold it, keep it under control. That's the one. Having a bit of power, taking control of the situation. No, didn't do that one. Now yeah, it's obviously gonna keep doing that, which might be more annoying than it is anything else. And you're going to see the stitches on the back. Can't afford it. You can't avoid that. Some of them are a little bit bigger than others, but that's okay. It's what I would call a quilting stitch. I'm going to just come back over that corner because, you know, the threads have unwound. So I'm just going to give it a little stitch but not go all the way through. Oh, does not want to stay threaded. Silly thing. Yep, so I'm going to come back over the top of that but not go all the way through. Just go into embed it just to hold some of those cut threads. And mostly when you're cutting this sort of crocheted lace out, it will stop unraveling at some point. Where am I up to here? Yeah, see, this is unraveling here, and I'll give it a stitch. I'm going to come up through there. I'm going to cut it. Lost it altogether. Have I? Yeah. All right. I might not even bother with that one. Might tuck him in there. He's not going to have antenna. Simple as that. And that antenna did not want to play after I just said to you, oh, it just stops unraveling after a while. No, well, that one didn't. So I'm not going all the way through when I'm doing this little bit of repairing stitching going on here. I'm keeping it just in those top layers. It doesn't matter, that doesn't have antenna. I mean, I would have liked it, but didn't want to be, so that's the end of that. All right, nearly there. I didn't catch that in originally. I'm just going in, scooting along under the surface here. And now I will do the same, just scooting along under the surface, not actually going all the way through. It's fairly tricky to manage when you're doing whole piece quilt, whole fabric piece. It's trickier to handle. Handling, smaller pieces is a bit easier, but whole cloth, that's what it's called, a whole cloth quilt. All right, I'm going to come scoop back through there, and I'm going to come back and add a bit of stitching going across here, but not right now. I'll show you what else I planned on doing. I can get rid of all of those little pins so I don't lose them. Cool. All right, so the other piece that I've added is down here somewhere. Yep, so across the middle here I've added a little bit of extra I don't think I added anything up the top. No. So this is sort of like around the middle, so where my flying geese are. Added a bit of text, a little bit of a lace trim along the bottom of there. It's pinned, not stitched yet. I've added, oh yeah, there's another bit somewhere here. Oh yep, another bit of text in here. Another little bit of lace trim going up here. So these are all pinned, so they're not stitched down yet. The same thing here. A little bit of extra lace trim, a little bit of extra stitching, 2 pieces of stitching there, and a bit of lace trim here. And then on this bottom corner is where I've put a piece of that pretty lace. That's as much as I had of that, so it's just going there like that. And this is the piece of Gapua lace from my wedding dress, which is in this bottom corner, and another little piece of old lace in under these. So that's where I'm at. Found another bit that I must have thought I was going to put somewhere, but it's not pinned. So yeah, so this is where I'm at. I think that's it for now. I might take a photo of that lovely corner there, that beautiful lace in it, and I'll catch you again later. All right, take care. Bye.